Hello viewers, in this video we are going to see how to install Livewire, and make CRUD operation using Livewire in Laravel. Make sure that your XAMPP is running. Navigate to phpMyAdmin. Create new database and rename to Livewire_examples. Copy this database name and update.env file db_database variable to Livewire_examples. Save file and open new terminal. Enter php artisan serve command in terminal and hit enter. As you can see, we are on Laravel 8. Create new controller by entering php artisan make controller main controller command in terminal. As you can see, main controller PHP file has been created. Go to web PHP file and import main controller class on it. Create new get root for displaying world countries list. Let's create this index method inside main controller class. Now, create this view blade file. As you can see, we have countries page. Let's design this page and add default table. Add default data for table. Now, we have table. Let's link Bootstrap in order to have better looking table layout. Link Bootstrap CSS file before closing head tag. You have to include jQuery before others files before closing body tag. Include Bootstrap.js file. And then include Bootstrap bundle.js file. As you can see, we have nice table now. Now, we are going to install Livewire in our project. Just go to Google and search for Laravel Livewire. Click on the first link. This is an official website for Laravel Livewire. Here you will find all information about Laravel Livewire and how you can use it on your Laravel project. Now, let's see in documentation. To install Livewire, we will use this command. Back to Visual Studio Code and enter Composer require Livewire/Livewire command in terminal. Now wait for installation. As you can see, Livewire is successfully installed into this project. To include this Livewire on certain blade file, we have to use these CSS and JS where you will use Livewire. Let's add this Livewire styles before closing head tag on country's blade file. And add this Livewire scripts before closing body tag. Let's check. As you can see, Livewire styles linked well on this page. Also, Livewire scripts included well on this page. Now, we have successfully installed Livewire in our project. Let's create our first Livewire component. We are going to make Livewire component for this table. Just go to terminal and enter php artisan make :livewire countries and hit enter. This will generate two files. One inside app http Livewire directory. And other inside views Livewire directory. Now let's move this table to Livewire component. Let's see what happened. When we refresh page, we don't see our table because we didn't include our component on this page. To include this component, we can do this. Just enter the name of Livewire component blade file without .blade.php. You can also include Livewire component like this. As you can see, this way works too. All these ways used to include Livewire component on page. Let's create country and continent models. As you can see, both country and continent models have been created. Also, their database migration files generated too. Let's add continent_ID, country underscore name and capital underscore city columns on countries table structure. And also add continent underscore name column to continents table structure. After this, run php artisan migrate command in terminal. By refreshing our database, now we see tables generated after migration. This is continents table. This is countries table. Let's insert continents manually. As you can see, we have all continents in our table. Let's add button to countries component that we'll use to open Bootstrap modal. Let's create add modal blade file. We will use this modal to insert new country info into countries table. Let's give this modal add country class name. Don't forget this on this model. Disable keyboard escape key to close this modal. Also, disable close this modal when you click on backdrop. Let's center this modal. Now, include add modal file on this Livewire blade component. As you can see, we have that modal on our page. Let's add functionality to this button to open add country modal. Now let's add that function inside this countries component class. Let's use this on add event listener. Add new add event listener for open add country modal. Let's test. As you can see, we can have this alert when we click on this button. Let's open modal instead of showing alert. Use this class. Let's test. As you can see, when we click on Add New Country button, we can show this modal. Let's add form to this. Now, pass continents and countries data on this countries view like this. Let's access this continents data on component blade file. We are going to make these select values dynamic. Just use for each directive here. Let's test. As you can see, we have now all continents on select options. Let's submit this form using Laravel Livewire. Add the following wire model to each element. Let's define continent, country and capital city variables inside country's component class like this. Let's add save method to this form. Then, Add this save method to countries component class. Let's test. As you can see, we can get this message after submitting form. Just validate our inputs. Continent must be required. Country name must be required, and be unique in countries table. Capital city must be required. For displaying validation errors, we have to add error spans on under each element. This must be similar to this. This must be similar to this. And this be similar to this. As you can see, we have validations errors displayed under each element. We have problem here. If we close this modal and open it again, we still having the previous displayed validation errors and last entered values on element. How to reset this form before showing modal? Back to our add event listener and add the following lines here. Clean all validation errors inside spans. And reset our form. Let's test. Now we have the following validation errors. If we hide this modal and try to open it again, we don't have any displayed validation errors and form resetted too. Let's add close modal button here. As you can see, we can hide modal by clicking on close button. Now, let's submit this form. After validation, let's insert data into database. Add new event listener for closing. Add country modal. After cleaning and reset form, hide add country modal and display success alert. Let's test. As you can see, Albania has been inserted to our table. Let's insert another country. As you can see, we have this problem. If we click on country name input field, the previous record filled on the following inputs. Let's fix this problem. Before opening modal, we have to reset input variables like this. Let's test again. If we click on Add New Country button, there is no autofill of previous element value. Friends, as you can see, our insert new country info process completely done. We are going to make this table data dynamic according to the countries saved into countries table. Just use for each directive for this table row. As you can see, we updated this table. Let's enter real country values. We will use Laravel relationship trick to display continent names according to the continent underscore IDs stored in countries table. Just go to the country modal and add the following belongs to relationship to it. So, instead of displaying continent ID here, let's display continent name like this. As you can see, the continent names displayed properly. Let's continue. Now, our countries list have been displayed into table. Let's add new country. As you can see, new saved country has been displayed on this table. Friends, next video we will see how to edit and update country information.